Okay, I believe we are going. Um, Sorry for the long wait. For anyone who's watching, I had some technical difficulties that I was getting set up, but here we are. If you didn't watch the last video of this little series I'm doing, basically, I'm just doing live coding and I'm building a badge application. It's supposed to be an enterprise grade application where um, you can earn credentials for all sorts of things, like specifically badges, saying that you have met the competencies or requirements to be a Java developer or whatever. And it's all democratically run, is the hope, where people propose badges and then they get approved by the community or not. And then people submit their work to prove that they've earned a badge, and then the community votes on whether or not they've received it. And then everybody has a level of reputation that weighs the vote more heavily, um, to help prevent bad actors or people who don't have experience on the platform. So anyway, that's kind of a little bit about what's going on here. Last time, excuse me, last time I was working on the um, user controller and stuff, I think. I can't remember. And what I have right now is, if we come in here into Postman now, something you should know about this is there's a lot of new things that I am learning about this. So this is kind of a learning together thing. So if you have any comments, anything you want to suggest, go for it. So I'm just learning. I haven't used Postman hardly at all, but I'm just figuring out what I need. So right now, actually, we need to start the database. So let's open up Docker. And then, yeah, let's see, once Docker runs, we will use command. Let's see if I can remember it. Okay. I think it was like Docker. I can't remember. I put it in my README. Good thing. Let's see. Docker compose up D DB. Is DB the name? No. I don't remember. I don't remember how I set this up, but it works, I think. Docker compose up DB. Sick. It worked. Okay. Now that that's running, we run the server itself. Oh, you know what? Last time, okay, this between when I was working live versus just working on my own, I did try to implement some tests somewhere, maybe. Actually, let me see if I can run that. Wait, why did it finish? Cannot map, ambiguous. Error. Okay, hold up. Is Docker working? Okay, it is running. So try this again. Oh, what's going on? To display the condition of value. So let me just make sure that I followed married me. I feel like every time I open up this project again, something happens. Okay, so I ran it. Let's try the tests. Okay. Failed. Could not detect default configuration for classes for test class, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, I guess that's the first thing we'll do today is figuring out what's going on. Ambiguous mapping cannot map badge controller method. Can we get a line number? I don't know. I have, let's see. Badge controller method. So let's find the badge controller. It said ambiguous mapping. There's already a badge controller being method. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna copy this to Gemini. Help me understand what's wrong. Okay, your application's failing to start because of an ambiguous mapping error. Spring Boot doesn't know which. Oh. It's it's this. Okay, so we have get badges. So the problem is that if somebody runs the get badges API, it doesn't know which one to do. So let's go ahead and look at our user controller. And in our user controller, so we had get all users, but then we had a specific like get username. So on this one, then what we need to do is create a path for badge name. Cool. Okay. So the path variable here is what we put in there. Okay. So that should be able to run now. Now the badge service, I'm trying to remember. The badge service is for saving data. So we'll use that on the post in a minute. Let's run the application. I think it's working. Maybe. I think it's working. So now let's go up here and we'll just test like all users send. Cool. Okay, so yeah, so I did test this. I finished my post user method, and let me explain what that did so far. So we give it just a username is all it needs right now. So it goes into the user service and runs save user, and that uses the repository to save it. And so then, yeah, so anyway, so I created these, and what it will do is randomly assign it an ID as well as reputation score of 0.1, role user, this random user ID, and whatever whatever username I give it. Now, the reason there's two IDs is because supposedly the Postgres server will be able to parse the shorter one first. This is using a long type variable. So there's incremental IDs that Postgres uses for traversing the database. However, that's not super secure, because then somebody who might be able to manipulate the API by guessing a certain user's number. So the outward facing user ID is this randomly generated UUID that will be used for more secure public facing transactions. Cool. So we have that. We have get new user. Now, I believe the way this works, I'm trying to remember. So I think I put in username, and then I put in like, oh wait, oh no. I don't do it in query params. I do it under the body, right? And so I feed it a raw JSON object. So now this won't work because this user already exists. So we get error 500. But if I do, I don't know, test user ABC, then it successfully creates that user. And then when we get all users, then that one is in there too. Okay, so a couple things. We need to test the ability to get a single user, because it looks like I haven't actually tested that one. So in here, let's create a new request, and we're going to say get user by, I guess. Oh wait, why don't I just, let's call it get user. Let's see. What do I call these, since it already has get? I don't know. Sure, we're just gonna stick with that for now. Okay. Also, thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it. Feel free to pop in, pop out, whatever you want. We're just coding here. So to get one user, so let's see, I don't need to save that because I just changed the body of the request. To get a single user, we are going to need to just pass a username. So we can do the one we just made. So first, let's copy our URL here. And then we're going to add a body. Oh, wait, real quick. I wonder, do I do anything with headers? Okay, no. Okay, so we're going to get user. And this is just going to be username. And we'll do test user ABC. Let's send it. Okay, so that just got all the users. That's not what we want. Oh, we got a user / username, right? Because, okay, in my head, I was thinking that this was being attached to the URL, but that's not how it is. There we go. Oh, 500. Wait, I swear we had test user ABC. Okay, we want you. It's the same. Okay, so why doesn't it work? Does it need to be in the path? Maybe it is. Because in the request body, that was only stuff. Oh, yeah. Because I did request body here for the, whatchamacallit, the post for getting users. So this one actually does not have a body, and it just has a param. So how does this work? Because it's not. Is it just like users? And then I do username equals test user ABC. No, that's not it. Slash username. Okay, so what if I literally just do this? Okay, so that works. Okay, I'm gonna try something. We're gonna take this to Gemini, and we're gonna say, is this the correct place to put the username for Postman if this is how the result is obtained? I know that makes like 0 sense, but hopefully it works. Okay, yeah, that's the correct place, part of the URL path. So let's see, in Postman, is there a way to put a placeholder for it in the URL path? And I don't know, maybe this is unnecessary. Yes, you can use a colon. So you can change your hardcoded value to a variable, do colon username. It'll immediately generate a new section called path variables. Let's try it out. So do username. Oh, cool. Test user ABC. All right, cool. Let's try it one more time with another user. We'll do test user 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Okay, that works. So we're gonna save that. And now we have these little Postman tests we can run. For user, we can get all users, username, or create a user. Now we need to figure out how to do the same thing with a badge. Now the badges are more complicated because there's a lot more pieces to them that we need to pass in other than just a username. So what we're gonna do is we need a way to create a badge so we can even have it in our system. So we're going to create an at post mapping. I'm going to do public, and then I'm trying to remember what I was doing over here. Looks like I had a response entity of type user. What was that again? Okay, so that was something we imported. Let's see. What is response entity? It's a Spring class that represents an entire HTTP response. It allows you to programmatically control status headers, body. Why use it? When returning a plain object while returning a plain object like user works, it defaults to a 200 OK status. Response entity lets you be more precise. For example, returning 201 created or 404 not found. Excuse me. Okay. So then we want a response entity of type badge. We want to say create badge. Now we're going to need a request body of type badge, and we're going to call it badge. Okay. Okay, so now we need to return to ourselves a badge. We're going to say it's saved badge. And the way we get this is by using the badge service, and we do save badge, right? Okay, cool. What is this, Meta? Insert a semicolon. I don't know. We'll look at it in a sec. Oh, I think I just needed a return. Okay. Then we return the response entity.status, and that is http status.created. What did I do? Created .body save badge. Okay, now what is this doing? So the response entity sends back a status of 201 for created, as well as the body of the saved badge. So if I remember correctly, like when we do a post user, let me just change something here, then it will actually return to us the user. And we need that because once we make a badge on the front end, then we need to get it back so that we can update the UI. Awesome. Okay, I know I'm doing a lot of like copying and pasting here, but this is helping me to learn the structure of Spring Boot, as well as JPA, and yeah, it looks like we're gonna have to kind of create 4 files for most of these classes that we want. We need a controller for updating the information. We need a service for handling the information before it goes into our database. Then we need a repository to put it in the database, and then we need the class of the thing itself to define it. Speaking of, let's look at what a badge entails. So a badge has a lot of stuff. So yeah, so let's set this up in Postman as we go. And so the way this is going to work is it's going to be API/badges, and that's just going to be a post call. So let's come in here and, oops, we're going to create not a folder. We need a new collection. New collection. Okay, and this is going to be called badge. I don't even know if this is how you're supposed to use these, but this is how I'm using them. So, okay. So let's add a new request. Oops. This is going to be a post, and it's going to be to HTTP, excuse me, / localhost, what was it, 4020? No, 8080. 8080/API/badge or badges. So this is the URL that we make a post request to. Then we need to add a header and say content type. And then this is going to be application JSON, pretty sure, right? Yes. Okay. Now we need the body. And here's what we're going to put in that. So we don't make up the ID or the badge ID, but we do need a name, an image name. Now the image name, I don't have a way to store images yet. So right now this is just going to be some string. Eventually these will be, I don't know. I'm not sure where images will be stored yet. Sorry, excuse my yawning. Fun fact, I kind of yawn and feel cold when I'm like sort of nervous. It's funny. I've recorded a lot of YouTube videos, but this is only the second live video I've done. And I'm super comfortable in my house, and I'm just talking as me, but I yawn. It's weird. Anyway. Okay, so we need a name. So let's do, oops. So let's do Java expert 1. And then we're going to give it an image name. Okay, and that is going to be like, I don't know, some file.png. Okay, then we need a description. I will say, this proves that you are a true Java expert, or at least level 1. Okay, now we need a page URL. Now this is something that will also be coming later. It'll be a dynamically created URL that'll have the information on it. We don't have one right now, so we're just gonna make one up. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna say like Java expert 1. Okay, that'll like be like, because it'll attach to the end of the URL. Okay, now created at, it's going to do itself. Created by, it will also kind of do itself, but that depends on like who's logged in, and we don't have logic to like do that yet. So we are going to say created by Jenksmap. That's my username for stuff. It's how I like to be known on much of the internet, though apparently not on here. Okay. Last edited, we'll do itself. Last edited by, we'll need edited by. Expiration date. Now this is interesting. So the badge service is going to have to figure out how to save this as a local date object. So we might run into an error here because I'm passing a string. And then we'll give it a category. So for this, I don't know, let's just put the current date. March 20th, 26. And excuse me, category. I'm sure I'll have like a subcategory later, but for now we're just gonna say like development. All right, so let's see what happens if I send this. 405 method not allowed. Okay, super interesting. Let's look at the controller and see what it's accepting when compared with this. So when we save a user, we're just, I guess it's just a string. How does that work? Let's look at our models. All right. Here's what we're going to say. In my controller, how do I specify what params I need? Okay. I'm gonna say, yeah, for post input. Okay, so it's saying that it's doing, what's this, response entity.ok. That's interesting. I'm gonna say, how is this different from this? So I think we're gonna need to go into the service to set up how it works. So the primary difference is the HTTP code. Okay. So Gemini's version returns a generic 200. Okay. Ours creates a specific 201, which is better. Why use created? What was created? So it's saying that mine is better. Can I wrap mine in one line like this? Yeah, you can. It might look ugly. Response.status .http status .created body service save badge. So basically, we are going to do it in the service. I think all of this code can remain the same, except that in here, now we're going to do some work. Okay, now I need to get a glimpse of what it would look like in the service so that I have a point to kind of bring up. So I have my repository in here, as well as my constructor that gets the repository. Cool. And then I have this transactional thing, which it does not have, but I'm guessing it is better. We'll see. Yeah, okay. All right, now while we're sitting here, if anybody's watching, I want to ask your advice. You can leave this in the comments later if you want. I'm considering making this platform open source. So that would mean putting the code publicly on GitHub and allowing people to contribute to it. And the reason for that is because I think it would be cool for the whole process to be kind of diplomatic, right? Everybody can see the code that determines their reputation. Everyone can see how everything works. Now, the tricky part would be to make sure that people can't manipulate the system by seeing the code. However, they might be able to manipulate it anyway if they just figure out the patterns of how things work. So I think the better solution would be to just find a secure way to make it public. And I mean, if you think about it, like Bitcoin and a lot of like blockchain stuff, often, I mean, I think Bitcoin is open source. I don't know. A lot of that stuff is open source and you can see all the code, and I mean, they figured out a way to make it secure. So I'm sure we can do it. Also, for those of you who haven't seen my last one and you're wondering why I have this separate Gemini window, it's because this is the sidebar for Gemini, and it's actually a nice hack. Because if I have a question about something in my main chat, instead of asking a new question and losing my place in the chat, I can just ask it over here. And because it's reading the web page, then it knows what I'm, excuse me, sorry. It will know what I'm talking about, so I can just ask more questions about this conversation in the side panel. I just haven't done it yet this time. Okay. Ooh, so it's saying the transaction occurs in the repository. No. Sorry. Okay, wait, let's see. The logic in your service layer is where you transform raw data into valid business record for its database. In a professional application, a save method rarely just calls the repository. It usually handles three things. Is the data legal? If it's not, it throws a bad exception. Okay, so that means we need to handle what would happen if I sent a bad request. Or maybe, I don't know. Enrichment, add data the user didn't provide. Excuse me. So the database should be doing that, I think. And then a final handoff to the database. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to convert this expiration date into a local date. These will hopefully take care of themselves. And then, yeah. I'm trying to think like how necessary this is to make sure that things aren't blank. Because in reality, the front end would be checking that. And I suppose I could check it here again. But I think as long as the front end is always sending good data, I think it's fine. Let me ask this question. Do I need to check if data is blank? Things like that. I plan on validating, or let's see, yeah, making sure the user front and then the database will reject it. Excuse me. So I don't know what's best practice here. Okay. So it probably is important. Okay, business logic. Instead of writing dozens of if statements, most Spring developers use Jakarta validation. Yeah, I did that. Then in your controller, you simply add @valid. Oh. Well, So, I think for now, I don't know. Okay, let's try this. Need to convert a string date into a local date. Right, that's what it's called. Let's just do it in the service for now and get some experience with figuring out how services are supposed to be. I'm gonna close this stuff for now. So I want to know if it'll be coming in as a JSON or what exactly is stored in that variable. Oh, okay. So by the time the badge reaches the service layer, it is no longer a JSON string or raw data. It's a fully instantiated Java object. Okay, so let's look at how this is working here. Okay, so somehow when we call create new user, we give it a body with a username, and somehow it just knows to put that into a user object. How? Let's try this. How does this know what to do when I pass when I call the API with the JSON? Okay. Since you're using Spring Boot, it's automatically mapping stuff. Spring hands the raw JSON and your user.class over to a library called Jackson. Jackson uses a class called Object Mapper. It matches names. It looks at the keys and tries to find a matching field name or setter method in your user instantiation. It uses reflection to create a new. Okay. Then it creates the object. So if I pass something in the JSON body that doesn't automatically map, What do I do? It's a bad question, but okay, so I can map JSON properties to the dates, or I can create an alias. That's interesting. What would be the best way to handle converting a string into a local date? I'm guessing we're actually going to want to do it then on the whatchamacallit, the database. If the string is coming in a JSON body via request body, the best practice is to let Jackson handle the conversion automatically using the JSON format annotation. This keeps your service and controller code free of parsing logic. So if I use annotations to take care of all that kind of stuff, what would I need to put in the service? And while we're looking at that, let's look at this formatting. JSON format shape equals JSON format dot shape dot string pattern date. Okay. Where's my prompt? Okay, even if you use annotations like not blank and so the annotations handle, if it's formatted correctly, the service handles doesn't make sense for my business. Ah, I get it, I think. So, excuse me. So in the case of creating a new user, I need to be returning something, or I need to be checking to see if the user already exists in the database. So for a new badge, then I need to check if like the file exists for the image, if I don't know. Maybe page URL can be blank, because if somebody proposes a badge but it hasn't been approved yet, then they would need, then it wouldn't have its own URL, or would it? I don't know. We'll leave that for now. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is I think I get what's going on here. Excuse me. And we're just about done here in about a minute-ish, or less. So let's see if I can do this. So in here, we're going to go into our badge and we're going to go to the expiration date, because this is a date that's input by the user. They decide the expiration date in their proposal. So we have the nullable false, but we also want to provide JSON format, and that takes shape, I guess, locale, time zone. So let's just try shape. Shape equals JSON format dot shape dot string. Okay, so we're taking a string, and then the pattern is going to be year, month, day. Oh, month, day. Okay. Now, to keep things looking kind of consistent, I'm going to do this so that column always kind of comes first since it's shorter. Now, out of curiosity, I wonder if this would run now. Okay. $500. Oh, because I didn't put it in a good format. Okay, sorry. So let's try 2026. And then we'll do 0320. Nope. Well, we will figure this out later. Thank you guys for joining the stream. If you have any suggestions or comments, let me know down below. And if you like these videos, subscribe to see more. I plan on doing these about once a week or so. So until next time, I'll see y'all later.